colors and remain standing. Remove your headgear and prepare yourself for the singing of our national anthem performed by an OHS concert choir.
On guard. Attention. Hand salute.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here today at the Online Community School District's 2025 Veterans Day program. This is a time when we celebrate those who have served our country and dedicated their lives to serving all of us in this room to protect our freedoms. President Ronald Reagan once said, "Veterans know better than anyone else the price of freedom, for they've suffered the scars of war. We can offer them no better tribute than to protect what they have won for us." For us here at OHS, former principal, Chaplain Tim Hadley, is currently overseas and serving with the Iowa National Guard on a year-long deployment. Here's hoping that he is watching this being streamed today, and so that he can see our support and appreciation for his service. The OHS band is under the direction of Mr. Corey McBride. So today they'll be performing the United States Armed Forces Salute, arranged by Douglas E. Wagner. So throughout this medley, the veterans and service members will hear their branch's anthem. Please stand at that time to be recognized for your service to your branch. First will be the Army. Thank you, Ms. Ricker and the OHS band. So at this time, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Sergeant First Class Josh Barker. Sergeant First Class Barker served 13 years in the U.S. Army, first as a mental health counselor specialist, and then for 10 years as a Green Beret in the Special Forces. He completed 3 combat deployments, 1 to Iraq and 2 to Afghanistan. And later he served as an instructor training future Special Forces soldiers. After leaving the Army in 2018, he continued his commitment to service and is now working as a Fayette County Sheriff Deputy. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Sergeant First Class and Deputy Sheriff Josh Barker.
Can you guys hear me pretty well? All right, so last year I did West Central. It was not as big as this. This is pretty nice. I like you guys' setup. So today I was already busy. I had a couple calls and I ended up calling Principal Martin. I think I gave her an aneurysm or a heart attack. Because on the phone, she was a little concerned if I was gonna make it here on time or not. But I drove the speed limit and I got here on time. First, I'd like to ask if there's any veterans in this room to go ahead and please stand up. Let's give all these people a round of applause. We appreciate your service and your sacrifice. I have held many titles throughout my life. I've held titles such as son, father, a cop, a deputy, an instructor, a teacher, and a soldier. But other than being a father, serving my country were the proudest moments of my life. You ask any veteran in here, and they're going to tell you the same. Minus being a parent and fathering kids or mothering kids, serving their country were the proudest moments of their life. And honestly, I'd go back there in a heartbeat. What does Veterans Day mean? Think about it. For you young guys, what does Veterans Day mean to you? Now, as you think about it, real quick, my name's Josh Barker. I've been in law enforcement almost 6 years. I've been a deputy sheriff for about 5 years. And I have I'm a father of 4 kids. They all go to West Central, so I'm gonna say go Blue Devils, but I'll probably get hated here for saying that. Yeah. But, so my oldest is 12. He is very much like me. And then I have 2 girls, 2 boys. My youngest is 6 years old, so very busy at the house, right? Outside of that, I serve in the community often. I'm teaching at schools. I teach in Starmont, West Central, NFB Middle School, teach a lot of mental health classes, teach dangerous situations, kidnapping, stuff like that. You guys might have seen me on Facebook a little bit. This stuff is very important to me, that cops and law enforcement are serving the communities and the schools to make them safer. So outside of being a cop, being home with the family, not doing a whole lot of stuff. So what does Veterans Day mean to you? A lot of people get that confused with Memorial Day. Memorial Day, Veterans Day, people kind of see it as the same thing. And to me, they're completely different. Veterans Day is a day we pay tribute to those who selflessly served their country. Memorial Day is a day that we remember those that had fallen during combat or after combat. So I ask you out there, raise your hand if you have any parents that are in the military. Raise them high. Any parents that are in the military. There's a lot of people out there. What about, keep them up, what about siblings? Any siblings that are serving in the military? Now, I can't really see a whole lot from up here with the light on me, but it still looks like a lot. What about aunts and uncles and grandparents? You know someone in your family that has served. Majority of the people here. Make sure when you go home today, you thank them for their sacrifice. And you thank their loved ones, their spouses, for their sacrifice. Because I tell you what, it's them serving just as much as the person that served as well. The person that actually served inside the dotted line, their spouse served as well. They were there when they were on deployments, taking care of kids, and they were there long nights when they weren't home, or during trainings and stuff like that. So Veterans Day, what that means to me, is paying the tribute to those who selflessly and honorably served their country. The service members that came before, that put their lives on the line in order to ensure the safety of this great country, to protect the country's rights and freedoms that we enjoy today. Much like you guys, I joined the military because someone else has served in my family. I only knew one person in my family that served, and that was my grandpa. He served in the Navy, and he used to tell us all kinds of crazy Navy stories. I don't think half of them were true, but it still gathered my attention. That's probably normal for a Navy guy, right? I'm guessing. Yeah, they like fish stories. Yeah. Army guys were perfect. We always tell the truth. Navy guys, like the Navy SEALs, us Green Berets and Navy SEALs, we make fun of each other all the time. So, my grandpa passed away, and I was very close to him. He passed away at the age of 12 years old when I was 12 years old. And I never knew what military honors was until I went to his funeral. And I didn't know what to expect. I was a pallbearer. And what happened next was amazing. They did the 21 gun salute, they played taps, and they folded the flag that was on his casket. At that moment, I knew I was going to serve the military. 12 years old. All the kids over here, 12 years old and older, raise your hand. Do you guys have life figured out yet? Probably not. 12 years old, I knew I was going to serve the military. At the age of 17, both my parents had to sign for me to join. Age 18, I went to boot camp in Fort Benning, Georgia, and then shortly after I served as a mental health specialist. I wanted to help people, so I did counseling, taught classes, stress management, anger management, stuff like that. And it's kind of weird teaching stress management while you're in Iraq. Most people look at you like, what's wrong with you? Of course I'm stressed out. After Iraq, I went to Special Forces Assessment and Selection, where you go and see if you're good enough. You go through selection for a month. They beat you down mentally, physically, and if you get selected, you continue to go to Special Forces training. So I was selected, and then shortly after I went to airborne school. Airborne school was down in Georgia. It was hot, and I didn't like jumping out of airplanes. But in order to be Special Forces, you had to be airborne qualified. Then I went through Special Forces training, which was a year and a half long. A year and a half of learning another language. My language is Korean. It's not an easy language. Then we went through survival training, where they treat you kind of like a POW, and they starve you, they interrogate you, they kind of beat the crap out of you, teaching you stuff, how to withstand interrogation. They also teach you a lot of cool stuff, like how to pick locks and hot wire cars and live off the land and stuff like that. Then I went to engineer training. And so being as an engineer on the Special Forces team, I was in charge of all the explosives. So C4, TNT, dynamite, I was the breacher on the team, so if we're gonna hit a house, I was the guy that would set the explosives and we would reach the building. And then from there, I graduated Special Forces course in 2009. Shortly after, I went to my team, and we deployed to Afghanistan. We would deploy for a year long, and then came back. I went to Halo School, which is a little bit different than airborne school. Halo School is high altitude, low opening, so it's basically like skydiving, and my first jump was not easy. They basically put the ramp down, and then you put your toes at the edge of the ramp, and you're looking down at the world, and it looks like just one big map. Anyone ever flown an airplane, look out the window? That's what it looks like. So we're about 12,000 feet in the air, not a tandem jump for my first jump, and then I had to jump out of the aircraft. I was a little stressed out. After Halo School, I went back to Afghanistan for another year, and had probably, if I were to talk about my time in Afghanistan, several gunfights, probably anywhere 50 to 75 intense gunfights. Lost teammates there, lost brothers in arms, and that was pretty normal for us. The reason why I talk about this stuff, talk about the stuff that I've done and accomplished, is because I was sitting where you're at right now. I've been there. I was that kid that was often getting in trouble. I've probably been in more trouble than half the kids here, and I probably shouldn't say as a deputy, but I'm also a graceful deputy where, I understand more than most. But I've been there. I've struggled throughout my life. I've been through a lot of adversity. I've experienced a lot of death before the military, during the military, and after the military. I understand every hardship, for the most part, what these kids are going through. That does not determine your outcome. If you want to change right now, you could. I was in trouble as a kid, and if I continued down that path, I'd probably be in jail. I joined the military at 17, and if I didn't do that, bad things were probably going to happen. So I'm saying that I'm a testament that you can turn things around if you're facing hardship. And you're not alone. I'm a huge proponent of mental health. That's why I teach classes into the middle school. And mental health is the most important thing you can do for yourself, taking care of yourself. What got me through the hardest moments, especially in Special Forces training, is I would look to the left and right of me, and if I looked at that person and I see this person and he's still going, then I knew I could too. Same thing for you guys. One step in front of the other, you can't get over anything. And these moments, these hard moments in your life, they're but a blip on your timeline. Think about that. Anything you're facing right now, if you're facing bullying or difficult situations at home or at school, this is a small little imprint on your lifeline. 10 years from now, you're not going to remember it. And you're going to be a completely different place. Middle school doesn't last forever. High school doesn't last forever. And before you know it, you're going to be successful if you choose to be. You can prove people wrong. I proved people wrong. A lot of people didn't think I was going to be able to join the military, let alone be Special Forces. Special Forces is considered the top 1% in the Army. Same thing as a Navy SEAL. But if you actually put forth the effort, you can become what you want. I started at 12 years old because I knew I was going to join the military. It's never too early to start your career. If you know you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or join the military because you listen to this motivational speech, you can start now. Learn as much as you can now and beat people to the punch. The earlier you start, the more successful you'll be. So in closing, If I made such an impact on anyone in my life, and they decided to do something great, such as join the military and serve their country because of the life that I led, then it was worth it. Live a life that someone would be proud to pick up after you are long gone. When my grandpa died, I wanted to leave a legacy that he'd be proud of and hopefully motivate someone else to serve as well. Thank you.
Thank you for the message, Deputy Barker. And I know he said the Army gentlemen don't lie, but I'm not sure he drove the speed limit to get here. We appreciate you being here today and your service to our country. Actually, thank you for your continual service. So at this time, that we would like to welcome back to the stage the Oline High School Concert Choir, accompanied by Sue Slater, performing Battle Hymn of the Republic. Thank you, Clark. Next, we would like to bring up, I'll let them get off first. I'd like to bring up the Owine Legion Honor Guard for the folding of the flag.
Could we have the light off of me and on the flag somehow or other? Thank you. Why the American flag is folded 13 times. At every armed forces base in the United States and all the ships at sea, there is a ceremony at sunset where the flag is lowered, folded in a triangle, and kept under watch throughout the night, as a tribute to our nation's honored dead. The next morning it's brought out, and at the ceremony of reveille, it is raised again as a symbol of the strength of this nation. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of our veterans departing our ranks who gave a portion of their life for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature. For American citizens trusting in God, it is to Him that we turn to in times of peace, as well in times of war, for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country. For in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all her enemies, whether they be found within or outside the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we may see the light of day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, love, and loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made our country great have been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to our Father, for He too has given His sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold demonstrates the spiritual nature of our nation that was founded on. The 12th fold, in the eyes of citizens, represents a symbol of eternity and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The 13th fold is when the flag is completely folded and tucked in. It takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, reminding us the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and the Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, who were followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today. The next time you see a flag ceremony honoring someone who has served our country, either in the armed forces or in the civilian services such as the police force, the fire department, keep in mind all the important reasons behind each and every fold. They have paid the ultimate sacrifice for all of us by honoring our flag and our country. Thank you for your attention. Each year, the 5th grade class are encouraged to write an essay describing what the flag means to them in a contest put on by the American Legion Post 9. Today, we have invited the 3 essay winners from last year. They are Paisley Wintler, Mosley Bratton, and Nash Meyer.
What the flag means to me. The flag means freedom to me. In 1776, the flag was made and put up for our country, meaning freedom. After the War of 1812, we now have freedom, peace, and justice for eternity. The flag means a lot to me because it's a symbol of honor and freedom. Everything on the flag represents something. The design and the colorings were chosen by Francis Hopkinson and made by Betsy Ross. The 13 stripes represent the 13 British colonies. The 50 stars represent the 50 states. The canton represents honor. The red stripes represent and stand for courage. And lastly, the white stripes represent and stand for purity. There are 27 different versions of the flag because every time a state had been added, they had to add one more star to represent that state. The flag should never have any mark, word, number, figure of any kind placed on the American flag. Our flag is more than just a cloth and ink. It is a recognized symbol that stands for liberty and freedom. It is the history of our nation and is marked by the blood of those who died defending the flag in our country. Don't think of the flag as something just to represent our country. It represents our freedom, peace, and honor.
What the flag means to me. When I look at the USA flag, I think of liberty and freedom. I want to thank the people that are veterans and people that fought in the war. When I think about the flag, I think about my grandpa that was also in the Vietnam War. He was on a Navy ship. He also drove the ship. I'm proud of that. Also, I think of the Pledge of Allegiance when I see the flag. I just want to thank the people that fought for our country and our veterans. Did you know that there are 27 different versions of the USA flag? The red on the USA flag is bravery and valor. The white on the USA flag is purity and innocence. The blue means vigilance, perseverance, and innocence. That the 13 stripes on the USA flag represents 13 colonies. The flag right now is about 50 years old. It was made on August 21st, 1959. Did you also know George Washington was the first president, but he was the only president that did not live in the White House or Senate? He also wanted to be a president, not a king. This is what the flag means to me.
flag means to me. When I think of the flag, I think of freedom, the presidents, and of course, my family who fought and the people who protected us and protect us to this day. The words I always think of when I see the flag are proud, brave, and honor. I think of my family because two of my grandpas served in the Air Force and the Army. My mom's dad, my grandpa, joined the Air Force right out of high school. He went all over the world during the time he served. He went to war and fought for our country. The flag was very important to him. When he retired from the Air Force, he was an active member of the American Legions in Alden, Iowa Falls, and Owen. When he passed away, they gave my mom his flag, and she keeps it in a special box, and it hangs on our wall. That flag is extra special to our family. It means pride and sacrifice. I think of the presidents because they are the leaders and rulers, and they are the ones that choose if there should be a change in the flag or the states. There are many things that you should not do to the flag. You should not dip the flag in water because it is disrespectful. At night, you should shine a light on the flag to show respect. If the flag is torn or ripped, you should discard it properly to a group and they will burn it on June 14th, Flag Day. You also should not step on the flag on purpose. The flag is important to everyone in our country for different reasons. Lots of people have fought to protect it and what it stands for.
If we truly want to thank the men and the women who have fought for our country, then we should live in a way that makes us worthy of their sacrifice. So every day we have the power to make a difference in our classrooms, the community, and how we treat one another. Our veterans have showed courage, strength, and service. We can honor them by showing those same values in our own lives. So we shouldn't just thank the veterans with words. We should thank them with our actions. Serve others. Be kind. Lend a hand. Stand up for rights, even when it's hard. You don't have to wear a uniform to serve your country. Service happens every single day. When you lead with integrity, when you care for other people, and when you work hard to make this world a better place. So this day is especially meaningful to me because my own father, First Sergeant Howard Philip Andrews, proudly served in Vietnam. He taught me that real service, you need to be dedicated and committed, love this country, love one another, and have the courage to do what's right when it's hard. So today, as we honor all who have served, let's carry their legacy forward. Be strong, be brave, and be grateful for what you have. Make a commitment to live every single day in a way that would make our veterans and our country proud of you. So at this time, we would ask you to please stand and rise and remove your head coverings as the online students perform taps, signaling the remembrance of those who have passed following their service to our nation.
Honor guard. Attention. Hand salute.
You may be seated. Ten years ago, Owen High School did not have a Veterans Day assembly. Our local veterans celebrated at Wings Park. Many of you probably still remember that. I got together with Jake Litch, and Jake helped me put this program together, and this is our 10th year of doing so. Jake's been fighting a battle lately that many of you know about. Owens bus driver has been fighting the doctors and nurses in Iowa City to let him come home. So how about a big thank you to Jake for all the work he does. Each year, it's my honor to be able to thank our veterans on behalf of the Owens School District. Thank you for all you do and letting us do what we can do for kids. So, one last time, all the veterans, please stay seated while the rest of us rise and thank you. How about one more round of applause for Deputy Barker? All right. We're going to stay standing and silent as we allow the American Legion Honor Guard to retire our colors. Thank you all. You can be seated. This concludes our program. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. Quick mechanics. High school students, we want you guys to use the north wing doors to exit back to school. Middle school students, please try to use the south wing doors to exit back to the middle school and leave our center aisles open for our community members. Thank you all for coming.